Hi, I'm Brad from Stronger Than All Guitar, and today's video is going to be all about this hand. Usually people think the guitar is all about your fretting hand, and it kind of is. I mean, to a point, you do make the sound here, but I'm forgetting who quoted me. Someone will have to tell me who this quote belongs to. Obviously, this is not my own, but a very well-known composer said basically that the space in between the notes is actually more important than the notes themselves. And again, a great example of this in one of my earlier videos was talking about Megadeth and Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton has so much feel with 5 notes that Megadeth takes 500 notes to do the same thing. Now, efficient, it's cool. I mean, believe me, I love tapping and all the crazy speed metal stuff. But in the same, if you don't have soul and you can't get something across in one note, if you slow down all that really fast playing, you're just hiding behind speed. Kind of like in the same. Distortion's great, but if you can't play it good clean, don't play it distorted because you're just hiding behind something. Now, basically, with this, when you're starting to use the rhythm with this hand, definitely always make sure you're either tapping your foot. Tapping my foot was always something that I never really got into. I didn't really like it, so I would kind of nod my head. It happens to be, if you have long hair, that works really well for rock and roll because then you can do the hair whips and all. It works great if you're in a metal band. But definitely tap your foot, nod your head, bat your eyes, whatever you need to do. Move the guitar up and down. Do something that you're in beat, because if you're not, or playing with a metronome or a drummer, you will fall off rhythm, and then whatever this hand is doing, it's not going to sound good. Now, basically, the thing is, with this hand, just a couple different technique things that you can do. You can either strum. Now, I'm just going to take a very simple chord. I did this in one of my other videos. E major. Open, 2, 2, 1, open, open. If you need any more of that, definitely check out the chord video. But I'm just going to do that. That way there's one simple thing. So forget this hand. Ignore what it's doing. We're only going to focus on what this hand is doing. So now, basically, with this chord, you can use your wrist to kind of get a fluid strummy. Now, and again, this is going to go into dynamics a little bit. Now, let's say we just strum that chord. You can kind of see my wrist is kind of the wiggle point, or the fulcrum is really my wrist here. And if you do it softer, you get a pretty sound. But in the same, this is the same motion that you would use for thrash, for metal. And that's going to be more, and I'm going to palm mute this, where I'm taking the fat of my hand, kind of the meaty part here, just to kind of give you an idea like that. And then you're going to put the strings along that. You don't want to totally strangle the strings where no vibrations can come through, but you want to make it where you're on them, and you can still, you hear the note, but it's just very dead compared to right without your hand being on it. Now, again, back to that E major chord, and then now I'm going to do kind of like a metal chugging, and this will be triplets. So triplets are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it should be like. Now you can see that basically I'm using that same, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of almost, there's like a country sound to it, but also a lot of death metal and rock bands do this. But so many variations of it. Let's say if you did doubles. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's so many different ways you can do this. But really, that's a big step in writing music, and also in understanding when playing other people's music, the dynamics, but also the spacing. The next area that you see a lot of people playing with, and doing the same chord again, the E major, is they use their arm. So instead of using your wrist here, you're going to start using your elbow to kind of a bigger circle, if you will. Obviously more movement in this. Now in that, if you play really hard, you get a really big sound. But if you do it soft, you can get still that big effect, but more pretty. And I think of, when I see like Elvis and Johnny Cash and the old videos like that, kind of the roots of some of, Hank Williams and stuff, the old country, that's really where you see a lot of the arm movements. But again, as a good musician, it's always good to have as many tricks in your bag as you can, and say like a rock song, at that last chord of that song, if you just hit that last chord and just let that ring out, it sounds really, especially with a little distortion on it, you can really get some interesting sounds like that. Another really interesting technique, and this is one of the things, this is definitely advanced, but anyone who's struggling on lead guitar playing, which is definitely my favorite, I'm definitely a lead guitarist, no doubt about that. I've known that probably since a year or two in. I always struck to the melody, not the rhythm. This is called circle picking, and I'm going to demonstrate this really slowly. This is a really simple blues lick that a lot of people do. I'm going to take the 12th fret on the G string, the 10th fret on the B, and the 10th fret on E, and then back to the 13 on B, and then go back to a pull-off on 10 on B. So it's going to be 12, 10, 10, 13, 10, 12, 10, 10, 13, 10. And basically you see I'm bending the 12, then hitting 10, 10, and then pull off 13, 10. Now I'm just going to do that regular with a pick, how you would pick it out. Now you can do that fast with a pick and go, or backwards. But the thing is you're always going to be limited because your hand can only move so fast. I don't care who you are, even Michelangelo. Battio is a very, very fast speed metal guitarist. But you can see there's certain techniques, if you can kind of get the efficiency. So basically the next area that we're going to focus on, I don't know if anyone notices, I'm moving my thumb and my index finger. Now basically circle picking, this was taught to me by a very good friend named Paul, who owns a guitar store in Iowa. Basically you take your finger, and I kind of picture it like I'm using a pencil and I'm drawing a circle on the string. So I'm going to do it like this so you guys can see. But see, it really builds a circular motion. Now once you have that shape, so I'm just going to do that blues lick, and you guys try to get that down kind of, just 12, 10, 10, 13, 10, 12, 10, 10, 13, 10. Once you have that down, with circle picking, you can take that, the sky's the limit. Now it sounds, obviously, anything circle picking is going to sound much better on electric because the resonance of it and the less string tension, the notes are going to pierce through a lot brighter. And also, too, you start to kind of get some harmonics off of it because of the speed, because of the pick hitting the string where you are already hitting it. But this is a way to immediately probably double your speed. So basically, again, you want to just picture that you're using your fingers in a circular motion to get those notes a little bit faster. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to check out StrongerThanAllGuitar.com.